Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and in this video today, we are taking another dive into the lore behind Hello Neighbor. So for those of y'all who don't know, I already made one video about the Hello Neighbor lore. In that video, I was talking about the Peterson family, which is pretty much the family that Theodore had before most of them died off. Make sure to go check out that video if you haven't already. But in this video, we're going to be talking about the original Hello Neighbor game and who the protagonist is. Now, a lot of people think that the protagonist in the first ever Hello Neighbor game is Theodore's son, and for those of y'all who don't know, Theodore is the neighbor's official name. But yeah, for some reason, everybody thinks that the protagonist in the first ever Hello Neighbor is the son of Theodore. I don't know why people could possibly think this, probably because Tiny Build's a little bit too vague about their lore, but in all honesty, we can't be playing as Theodore's son because Theodore's son is actually the person we're trying to save from the basement in Act 1. In my first theory, we talked about the death of Theodore's wife and daughter, and the death of the daughter was caused, even if it was on accident, it was still caused by Aaron, which I'm pretty sure that's the name of Theodore's son. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's Aaron. So because of that, Aaron is most likely the person who's locked inside of Theodore's basement as both a punishment and of fear that Theodore has for not wanting to lose his last family member. And all that information brings us to Act 1 of Hello Neighbor. In Act 1, we play as a little kid who just so happens to be neighbors with Theodore. He sees something suspicious going on at Mr. Peterson's house. He goes to investigate, but he gets caught. And then that leads you to the rest of Act 1, where you literally just try to unlock your neighbor's basement. Once you make your way into the basement, Theodore follows, which leads us to Act 2, where you are literally stuck in the neighbor's basement and you have to get out. But anyways, once you end up getting out of the neighbor's basement, you book it to the exit. And once you actually escape from the neighbor who randomly has a giant fence for some reason, the neighbor gives you a death stare as you run back home. A death stare that haunts you for both Acts 3 and 4. And now let's move on to Act 3, where we actually get to see Nicky, who is the protagonist throughout all of the first Hello Neighbor game. Now he's an adult, and he lives in an apartment, but he got an eviction notice. So now he has no choice but to move back to his childhood home and see the now torn up and broken down Hello Neighbor house. For old time's sake, he decides to go over to the abandoned Hello Neighbor house. And at this point, we are really far into the Hello Neighbor timeline. While Acts 1 and 2 of this game took place after Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, Acts 3 and 4 are the farthest things that are in the Hello Neighbor timeline. In fact, it's even farther than Hello Neighbor 2 itself. Although Hello Neighbor 2 can get a whole other theory for a whole nother day.
Everybody knows what goes on in Raven Bros. Everybody knows that there's more than meets the eye. Oh my God!
While Nicky is investigating the neighbor's old house, he ends up seeing some strange shadow figure, which causes him to get scared, run off, and leave. So then he goes to the couch, goes to sleep, wakes up, and suddenly the neighbor has a ginormous house and has returned. Whoa, hold up. How does that just happen? Well, dear viewer, you see, even though it looks like he woke up in his dream. He's not actually awake yet, he's still asleep. And this is all just a dream. In fact, both Acts 3 and 4 of Hello Neighbor are just dreams. I know, it's kind of underwhelming, but just stick with me here. Throughout these two acts, we get to see multiple clues and kind of representations of how Nicky felt during Acts 1 and 2 whenever he was actually in universe real life, being chased by Mr. Peterson. There would be paintings of eyes in the walls, lots of security cameras kind of representing how Nicky always felt like he was being watched by the neighbor. Well, there are either metaphors, or I'm just really overthinking this. Oh, and for some reason there was a lot of mannequins. I don't really know why, maybe Nicky had a fear of mannequins or something, but who knows. The fact that both Acts 3 and 4 are both dreams makes a lot of sense considering how big the house is. Maybe the house being that big represents Nicky when he was a kid thinking that Mr. Peterson's house was like ginormous or something. And later on in Act 4, you see the shadow figure again. And you see him again and again, over and over again, in this one cutscene where he keeps on breaking this house. In this cutscene, Nicky gets to see his younger self being scared by this big shadow figure, and the big shadow figure ends up breaking the wall of this random house and ends up taking young Nicky. But each time you stand in front of young Nicky, you get taller and taller, and Nicky gets more protected by you. And it gets to the point where your character is taller than the shadow figure, and it's only at that point when the shadow figure stops trying to attack Nicky. And I believe that these type of cutscenes happening over and over again with you being taller in each one kinda represents you, aka Nicky, getting over his fears. With the final time that cutscene plays, he quite literally gets over his fears. He's taller than his fears. But for this to be the case, that means that the shadow figure has to represent fear, or maybe be fear itself. I guess the shadow figure could also be the ghost of Mr. Peterson or the ghost of Aaron, but judging by the role that it plays throughout chapters 3 and 4, Acts, I feel like it's most likely just represents fear, and it's not really anybody possessing anything. Come on now, guys, this isn't a FNAF video, or a Poppy Playtime video, or a Bendy and the Ink Machine video, or a Markiplier video. Okay, there's literally just a lot of lore nowadays has people and souls possessing things. But hopefully that's not the case for Hello Neighbor. Come on, we haven't seen it yet. Let's not start the trend now. But all this kind of leads us to one last question. What did happen to Aaron? We know he was locked in the basement in Act 1, but what happened to him in all the other acts? Did he just die? Did he just starve? Or what happened? Well, to be honest, I think that question will be answered in Hello Neighbor 2, based off of where it is on the timeline in between Acts 2 and 3 of the original Hello Neighbor, plus it's all about us looking for the missing kids. I bet that we're gonna find some sort of answer to what happened to Aaron after he got locked in the neighbor's basement. Or for Aaron's case, I guess I should say his dad's basement. And with that said, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if y'all did enjoy. I know that uploads have been slowing down recently, but trust me, once the big project is released on July 18th, that will definitely pick back up. I will be uploading a lot more since I'll have more time out of my day to actually do more daily content. Plus, I'm also taking driver's ed right now, so yeah, that's another reason that uploads have been slowing down recently. But still, if you're here watching this, thank y'all for sticking around, and thank y'all for liking and subscribing and just giving me a lot of support. I really do appreciate it, and I will see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.